Well, I don't believe he was wrongfully deported. He's an Salvadorian citizen
That's not my
illegally in the
question.
United States.
Okay.
No court can tell me how to conduct foreign policy. They can't tell me what I have to say to a president of another country, nor do I need to tell them what I told the president of another country, because I can't conduct
just
foreign
asking you,
policy. I'm not going to tell you what they are, and I don't have to, because we conduct the foreign policy of the United States, and I can't conduct diplomacy with a foreign leader if I come to committees and tell you what they said to me, what I said to them, and more certainly a court can't tell me to say.
Ted Lieu walked into that hearing room with a Supreme Court ruling, printed tweets, and a carefully staged ambush designed to corner Marco Rubio on live television. He had everything a Democrat congressman needs for a perfect gotcha moment. What he did not have was an answer for what Rubio was about to do to every single one of his arguments, because Rubio did not panic. He did not apologize. He dismantled every attack with the calm precision of a man who knows exactly what his job is and refuses to be bullied out of doing it.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Secretary Rubio, thank you for being here today. As a member of the legislative branch, I don't have a special exemption to violate the law. You would agree with me, wouldn't you, that in America, no one is above the law?
Of course.
Okay. And in our system of government, it's Congress that makes the laws, the executive branch that executes the laws, and the judicial branch, when there's a dispute, that says what the law is. Is that right?
Within the context of separation of powers, yes.
Okay. And the reason that due process is so fundamental to America is before we put the entire weight of the federal government and snatch someone off the street, we might want to ask, hey, do you have something to say about that? Might we have the wrong person? And in the case of Mr. Garcia, the Trump administration admitted in court that they mistakenly deported him to El Salvador. The Supreme Court, in a 9-0 decision, said the Trump administration has to facilitate getting him back. Do you believe the administration has to follow that Supreme Court order?
Well, I don't believe he was wrongfully deported. He's an Salvadorian citizen
That's not
illegally
my question.
in the United
Do you believe
States.
the Trump administration has to follow the Supreme Court 9-0 unanimous decision?
Within the context of separation of powers.
Okay.
No court can tell me how to conduct foreign policy. They can't tell me what I have to say to a president of another country, nor do I need to tell them what I told the president of another country, because I can't conduct
I'm just
foreign
asking
policy.
you, do you believe the Trump administration has to follow the unanimous Supreme Court
I believe we
decision?
are following it.
Okay, so my next question is, what steps have you or the State Department taken to facilitate the return of Mr. Garcia, who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador?
The conduct of our foreign policy is an executive function, and how I conduct
I'm
it,
just
I don't need to
asking
share
you.
with you.
Well,
and
let
I
me
don't
ask you
need to share with the court.
Have you or the State Department taken any steps to facilitate?
We've taken
the
steps,
return?
but I'm not going to tell you what they are, and I don't have to, because we conduct the foreign policy of the United States, and I can't conduct diplomacy with a
And
foreign
so-
leader if I come to committees and tell you what they said to me,
Right.
what I said to them,
you-
and more certainly a
Now,
court can't
so
tell me to say
you
that
have
either.
taken steps to facilitate Mr. Garcia's return.
We've made those. We've made that assertion, and we've made those assertions in court, and
All right,
we've
thank
complied.
you. I appreciate that. I'd like to ask you now about Ukraine. On August 24th, 2022, you tweeted the following. In the past 6 months since Putin's criminal invasion of Ukraine, Ukrainians have shown incredible bravery and strength as they fight to defend their homeland. On Ukraine's Independence Day, the free world applauds their courage and celebrates Ukraine's sovereignty. And then also in 2022, you said the people of Ukraine are tough people who will never accept being ruled by Putin. I want to ask you, I assume you continue to believe what you said in 2022, right? That we should celebrate Ukraine's sovereignty and that the people of Ukraine will never accept being ruled by Putin, right?
Yeah, that's why we're trying to end the war.
All right. On April 30th, 2018, you tweeted, "Glad to see State Department confirm delivery of Javelin anti-tank missiles to Ukraine. The U.S. should continue empowering Ukraine and other allies to defend against the threat of Russian aggression." You would agree with your prior statement that the U.S. should continue to support Ukraine against Russian aggression, right?
We've supported them more than anyone in the world.
All right. Unfortunately, it appears Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth went rogue and decided unilaterally to stop support for Ukraine earlier this year. Various news organizations reported that Secretary Hegseth paused military support to Ukraine without President Trump's knowledge. I'm going to read you from one article dated May 6. Quote, Pete Hegseth canceled military aid flights to Ukraine just a week into Trump's second term without the president even knowing, according to Reuters. The order initially sparked mass confusion within the administration as national security officials in the White House, the Pentagon, and the State Department couldn't figure out who ordered the halt in flights. This is yet another example of the chaos and lack of cohesion that Hegseth has brought to the Pentagon from day one. Did Secretary Hegseth tell you before he ordered the halt in flights to Ukraine of military weapons?
I can't comment on that because I don't remember that. I don't remember ever hearing that, to what you're claiming now.
So your understanding is he never told you he was going to halt these flights?
I just know we're providing them assistance now, but the war ultimately has to end.
In 2016, you stated the following: from his repression of the Russian people and the assassination of his critics, to his dangerous invasion of Ukraine, the occupation of Crimea, to his threats against our NATO allies in Central and Eastern Europe, to the war crimes committed by Russian forces, Putin's Russia is a threat to global stability. You would agree with your prior statement, right, that Putin's Russia is a threat to global stability?
I would agree that in my role as Secretary of State, my job is to bring Russia to the table to end a war, and that's what we're trying to do right now. We're trying to end a war so that more people don't die.
Thank you. And trying to end the war, I simply note that Putin, on Palm Sunday, launched a barrage of missiles, killed a bunch of civilians. Right before his conversation with Trump recently, he launched a bunch of missiles, killed a bunch of civilians. So clearly, Putin is giving the middle finger to you and to the president. I urge you to defeat Putin on the battlefield. That's the only way to get him to the negotiating table.
Liu set up his opening carefully. No one is above the law, 3 branches of government, separation of powers. Rubio agreed with all of it. Then Liu moved in for the kill with the Garcia deportation case, claiming the Supreme Court issued a unanimous 9-0 ruling demanding the administration facilitate his return. Rubio did not flinch once. He said he does not believe Garcia was wrongfully deported because Garcia is a Salvadoran citizen. Liu pushed back, and Rubio delivered the line that ended the entire argument instantly. No court can tell me how to conduct foreign policy. They cannot tell me what to say to the president of another country. I cannot conduct diplomacy with foreign leaders if I 6.436 minutes, 43 seconds, report every private conversation to a congressional committee. That is not defiance. That is constitutional foreign policy authority, and Liu had absolutely no answer for it. Hit that subscribe button right now because this gets better. Liu then demanded full details of every step the State Department had taken to facilitate Garcia's return. He wanted names. He wanted conversations. He wanted everything. Rubio told him directly, "We have taken steps, but I am not going to tell you what they are. I conduct the foreign policy of the United States. I cannot conduct diplomacy with foreign leaders if I come snorts to committees and report everything they said to me and everything I said to them." Liu was not asking for accountability. He was fishing for ammunition, and Rubio was not going to hand it to him. The assertions have been made in court. The legal process is being followed, and the rest is simply none of Ted Liu's business. Liu then pulled out the printed tweets. Rubio's 2022 praise of Ukrainian bravery, his 2018 support for Javelin missile deliveries. He asked Rubio if he still stood by those statements, hoping to create a contradiction. Rubio stood by every single one without hesitation. He said, "That is exactly why we are trying to end the war. We have supported Ukraine more than anyone in the world. Supporting Ukraine and working to end the war are not contradictory. They are the same position held by someone who actually wants fewer people to die." Then Liu claimed Hegsth went rogue and secretly halted Ukraine military aid without Trump's knowledge. He cited news articles expecting Rubio to confirm administration chaos. Rubio simply said he does not remember that. What he knows is the assistance is flowing now and the war has to end. No drama, no confirmation of the chaos narrative, just facts and focus. Liu's closing statement revealed everything. He told Rubio that Putin was giving the administration the middle finger and urged defeating Russia on the battlefield as the only path to peace. In other words, Liu wants the war to continue. More fighting, more dying, more weapons. He used an entire congressional hearing to pressure the Secretary of State into prolonging a conflict that has already killed hundreds of thousands of people. Rubio's response was the same as it was for every other attack that day. The goal is to end the war and stop people from dying. Liu came to for an ambush and left with a lesson. No court runs the State Department. No committee dictates foreign policy. And no Democrat with printed tweets gets to tell Marco Rubio how to do his job. Share this everywhere. Subscribe right now. See you in the next.